Robots Radio. Games, lore, stories, community. Just press play. This show is brought to you by our patrons at patreon.com/ElderScrollsLorecast.
Robots Radio presents The Elder Scrolls Lorecast.
Welcome to the Elder Scrolls Lorecast, a place where the Elder Scrolls community can come together to discuss the boundaries of our knowledge about the universe of the Elder Scrolls. Welcome back, adventurers. This is the Elder Scrolls Lorecast, and I am your host, Tom, or Robots. And if it wasn't for Seachaser here, our patron, I'd be flying solo right now because Lotus of Doom has a little bit of a thing that he has to be doing right now, but he might jump in a little bit later. And this is our patron episode for April. We delayed it a little bit, tried to make it work out for as many people could join us as possible, but it turns out that it might just be me and Seachaser chatting, kind of like the old days when it was like me and Lincoln just having kind of one-on-one chats, but it's kind of fun because we get to spend a little bit more time and dig a little bit more deeply into the things that Seachaser wants to talk about. And Seachaser, welcome back, buddy. How's it going?
Hey, I'm good, Tom. How you doing today?
Doing good. In the pre-show, you were showing me the engine of your Mustang that you're working on, which looks really cool.
Yeah, I don't think I showed you this last time, but we also have aircraft in here. Oh
crap! That's really cool. So an uncle of mine lives in Alaska, and he has a plane because he uses it to get to his like summer home that he keeps out, away from the city. And he can only get to it by boat or plane, or maybe snow machine. Yeah. But that's awesome. That's really cool stuff. So welcome back to the show. We were talking, you live in Alaska, right? And it's getting warm there, yeah. Which to you is like 50s and 60s in degrees Fahrenheit. So, whew, that's still cool.
My camera's a little messed up right now, so I don't know how.
Yeah, you're coming through a little staticky too. So I don't know if maybe you get a little closer to your mic, if that'll help. I don't know how that'll play out. It's in your earpiece. Yeah, maybe I don't know. Maybe it's the device you have.
I got that fan going on.
Oh, maybe that's it. But today we are talking about a few different things. I threw some ideas out there for things that we can discuss. And Seachaser's been playing Skyrim again, but not fast traveling, which is kind of a fun experience. I've done that. If you haven't done that before, then it's worth a try because you get all the experiences of all the things that happen between the locations that you're traveling to. And it really extends the game a good bit. And then we're also going to dig into a little bit about the Divines because we've been talking about the Divines. And then I also wanted to, just chat about the new companion system coming to ESO. So we'll be digging into that stuff as well. Lotus might pop in later. We might have other patrons show up. You never know what's going to happen. So let's just start this off with talking about your Skyrim playthrough. During the pre-show, we were talking about it, and you were saying that you're pretty significantly into it, right? You've played through most of the main quest. You've done the whole main quest. You've now and if I get this wrong, then feel free to correct me. You've settled down with your wife and kids and are basically like the wealthiest people in town, and you go between all your fancy properties and you're basically on vacation permanently. Is that a good summary?
Yeah, I mean, I think the most gold I've had at one time was like 40 grand that I just sort of somehow collected, and then I spent it all at once.
Okay.
Or almost all at once.
What did you spend it on? Houses? What did you spend it on?
Probably. Or like, can't remember what it was, but might have had to do something with, it might have been the quest in Solstheim with the weird Dragon Priest. And the Dark Elf that tricks you into giving him gold to dig up this Dragon Priest. So I think most of my gold went into that quest because every time you talk to him, he wants more money to pay for more miners.
So you just kept giving him money?
Yeah, and then you find out that he was under the control of a Dragon Priest, and who was using him to dig his his grave out, resting place, whatever.
Right. Yeah, Crystal in chat says, so a Scientologist. Oh, man. Well, welcome to Stream Chat, by the way. We are live. Even though it's Tuesday night, we're live at twitch.tv/robots radio. Yeah. And, dude, we have Rich coming to join us on Thursday, Rich Lambert from the ZeniMax team. He's the creative director on ESO. And that's going to be super exciting. We'll be live again in 2 days with him as our guest. And man, there's going to be so many cool things coming out with this next expansion. Are you excited about the new expansion? So
I don't play ESO.
Oh yeah, you don't play, dude. You need to play ESO. You gotta jump in there. It's good.
Yeah, so I'm gonna wait till after I go through basic trainings with the military before I get into it.
That's probably a good idea. Yeah. Well, we'll hold off our conversation about the companion system till next week, because I want to get other people's thoughts on this, because they put out a big update today about just some more, behind the scenes stuff about companions. In Skyrim, you have a few companions in your playthrough. You've got your wife. So explain like you did to me at the beginning. You are what?
So my character, his name is Sever, Sevr. Because I didn't know what would be a good orc name when starting, because I play an orc.
Right. That's fine.
Yeah, I like orcs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the name. Orcs are fine, but like the name's fine.
But the name,
good name.
Well, they usually like Orok or
whatever. Right. That could be an orc name. I think that's totally fine.
So I like the way how in Skyrim you can play it so your character lost all memory at the beginning. So that's sort of how I've done it. So I guess technically when I stepped down off that wagon, they're like, "Who are you?" I just thought of a name, and that was it.
This is it. This is who I am, I guess.
This is who I am. I don't know who I am, but I must kill dragons.
Hey.
But so I play an orc. He's got his dark elf wife, which is Janessa from that one. I don't know. It's kind of the Drunken Huntsman or something. I think that's where you find her in the Whiterun.
It's been so long since I played through a lot of that content, but yeah, that might be it.
Where she's in there and you hire her as a mercenary, and then you can go marry her, because that's how Skyrim works.
Right. So you're married. So you're an orc married to a dark elf, and then you have kids?
Yes, I got the 2 Nord daughters.
Okay, so they're adopted?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can't have biological.
Yeah, it was like, I don't know how you make that work out biologically.
Yeah, so there's one of the daughters was from running around Whiterun, where you can adopt the children, and I think the other one was from Riften.
Okay. So you've got your 2 Nord daughters, orc.
Yes.
Orc male. You're playing male orc, female.
Orc male, female, dark elf.
2 Nord daughters, and then
2 Nord daughters.
You have a house, Carl. You have like the.
So I have Lydia as she's my. So I don't know, since technically we live in. She is the steward at my house at the Hell Archon Hall, which is technically part of. I don't know my holds very well, but it's one of the Hearthfire DLC. Maybe someone in chat knows which hold it's in, but it's like right above Whiterun. But so I don't know if House Carol's part of whatever.
I get what you're saying.
Whatever hold.
But she's
the steward at the house.
Steward, right? I'm someone to carry your burdens. Carl. Yeah. All right. So you got her.
I always feel bad when she says that too. When you have her as a follower, like, I'm sworn to carry your burdens. Like,
yeah, she's so passive aggressive. She's just like,
you can go do something else.
Okay, if I have to. You're right. All right, so you've got this little troop of people. She's kind of like your butler / maid / babysitter when you go out.
Yeah,
takes care of the kids.
I originally had a Dawn Guard woman as my steward, but I came back to the house one day and I found her dead body lying there. I don't know what happened.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Did vampires show up and kill her?
Well, every now and then we get like bandit raids because the house just sort of sits there with no like walls around it or anything. It's just an open house. But I didn't think that they could die like that.
Yeah. There's weird stuff that can happen in the game. All right. So is there anybody else?
And then we have one female Lord Bard. Okay.
So you're surrounded by a lot of women.
Yeah. And I did not intentionally do that.
Oh. It just kind of happened. It kind of happened. You were maybe your orc is like a ladies' man. Maybe he's got like.
So when I made him in the character creation, I wanted to make the most attractive orc I could. So.
Yeah. Did you give him a fancy mustache?
He had the goatee, I think, with the sort of braided goatee. Mm-hmm. But I've been playing him so long now that I went to the that face molder lady in the underneath Riften in that whatever that bar down there.
Right.
And I made the hair gray because I've been playing him so long. I was like, well, he's probably aged quite a bit now. So.
He's been through a lot.
Like,
he's getting
might
old.
As well age him.
All right. Okay. Yeah, I do that too sometimes. Sometimes I'll revise my characters over time and make them a little bit different or a little bit more worn looking. Sometimes add a scar, or whatever. That's fun. I mean, this is kind of a fun thing. So now what do you do? Like, you've played through the main quest. Have you done any other of the other like side quest lines of the prominent ones?
Yeah. So I did the Civil War before I finished the main quest.
Oh, okay. What side did you go with? I mean, you're an orc, so that's kind of a tricky.
All hail the Empire.
All right, so you're a pro-Empire orc.
Yeah, Ulfric Stormcloak is a racist bastard.
Well, there you go. All right, that makes sense. Coming from an orc, I guess, there you go. All right, so you finished that. You finished the main quest line. Are you, are you like what's he called? The top of the Mages Guild,
So Mages Guild is the one I have not done.
That's the one you haven't done. What is the name of the top guy? I need to play through this stuff again. I've dabbled in it a few times, but over the years, but
I've done Mages Guild with other characters I've created. Mm-hmm. I just
Archmage, right? Yeah, Archmage.
Probably.
Yeah, the Archmage, and then there's the did you play through the Thieves Guild? You did all the...
So the way I did it, I did Civil War main quest. I think the companions, not the companions, the vampire hunter guys.
Right. The whole expansion thing with the vampires that live off the coast and yeah.
And on that side, I chose the vampire hunters. Okay. Because I didn't quite like the vampire lords at the time. Just the way they looked, they were kind of creepy. But at that time, right before that time, I had been playing this as a normal vampire, which I had healed by that time.
So you undid it. So you went back to being non-vampire. Okay.
Yeah, and then I can't remember which one I did first, but either the Companions or the Dark Brotherhood.
Okay. So you did the whole thing with the Night Mother and the coffin and the creepy guy. What was his name?
Sisto?
No. Yeah. What was his name? It starts with a C. Yeah.
Siestro.
It's a German. I mean, sorry, it's a Roman name, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, somebody in chat's going to tell us. I'm sure people are yelling at their car stereos right now.
Of course.
Cicero. Yeah, Cicero. That was it. Thank you, Nekomata. Cicero. Yeah. So you did the whole thing with Cicero. So how did you play through that? Do you remember?
Well, so I first came across Cicero as he was going towards Whiterun, because there's a little fun quest there you can do.
Yeah.
So
on the road.
It was between my house and Whiterun, where you can run into him on the road, and the Night Mother's.
It's like the cart's broken
coffin.
down. Yeah, and the coffin's like hanging off the side.
Yeah. And he wants you to go convince the farmer to help him. or something like that. Mm-hmm. And the farmer doesn't want to help him, wants him to get away.
Because he's a super weirdo with a coffin.
I thought I didn't know what that was, so he was like I was like, yeah, I chose the farmer side, so I talked to a guard there patrolling the road. And I was like, hey, this guy's smuggling weapons. I think that was like the option.
Okay.
So I was like, this is a weird jester guy. So yeah.
So when you meet him as part of the Dark Brotherhood quest, he probably already had a not good opinion of you.
Yeah, he recognized me. He was like, hey, I don't like you.
I don't like you. You're a jerk. Oh, man. All right. So you play through that stuff. Did you save the Brotherhood? The Dark Brotherhood? How does that wrap up? I'm trying to remember how that wraps up. Basically, everything falls apart, and then
so Astrid betrays you when you try to poison the Emperor.
Right.
And you get back and you find the Dark Brotherhood place on fire.
Right. Did you poison the Emperor?
You poisoned the fake Emperor. He's not the real Emperor.
Okay. Uh-huh.
He had a stand-in.
Uh-huh.
You go back to the Dark Brotherhood secret base, and Empire had broken in. The place is burning. You find Astrid, and she has all the stuff for no, you find her after everything burned, I think, or something like that. Mm-hmm. And she admits to betraying, but you still go out to carry the quest, and you sneak aboard the ship,
right?
The Emperor's ship, and you go in and talk. You can talk to him before you kill him,
right?
He accepts the fact that he's going to get killed, but then he asks you if you can kill the guy who hired him, which I did. So,
okay. All right.
So technically, apparently someone mentioned this to me a while back, but Titus Mead, when you kill him, had all this stuff to try to contact the Night Mother in the office there. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it sounds legit to me. So
yeah, there's some places you can find where people look like they were obviously doing some summoning or some contacting of the Dark Brotherhood. So did you do the Thieves Guild stuff? We haven't talked about that yet.
So
the Nightingale
right.
quest lines.
Yeah, and that's the most recent one I've done. I finished it relatively recently, but
okay.
I started it a while back, but my character wasn't really set up for sneaking and thieving.
Right.
Because I'd done the Dark Brotherhood stuff, and I like to kill people.
So you just killed people openly as the Dark Brotherhood, because that's one of the two sections of the game that I feel that have the most similarities in the way you can play through them are the Dark Brotherhood and the Thieves Guild stuff, because you can be sneaky in both. And in the Dark Brotherhood ones, you set it up so it looks like they got murdered by something else, right?
So I got Mehrunes Razor, like right at the beginning of the Dark Brotherhood quest, and so I just have to sneak up behind someone and pretty much always got that sneak attack, instant kill.
Right.
And so I can sneak up behind someone. I know that no one's looking at me, kill someone, and just walk away. So that's pretty much how I went around doing that.
Yeah, but then being sneaky for the Thieves Guild stuff wasn't so simple because it wasn't just like a one-hit kill.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Since the Thieves Guild, they don't want you to kill people.
Right. Okay. I
just want to kill people.
So did you end up in good standing with them at the end, or did you like
well, that's not how the game works.
Right, but like did you just like murder people anyway?
Only if they saw me. I would try to sneak around them, but that didn't work very often.
Okay.
But my lock picking is good enough that I can get into most locks, most chests, doors, whatever.
So it sounds like you have kind of more of a like a melee heavy armor kind of build.
Yeah.
Okay.
Since I didn't understand how armor worked when starting playing it, like I didn't know anything about the lore at all, which is pretty much how I found you.
Right.
I found you because I wanted to know what happened to the dwarves.
Yeah, and good luck, because only Todd Howard really knows. So there's a lot of speculation out there. But
yeah, so then through you, I found Eremithius, and that was his first episode. And I was listening to it at work. I'm like, I don't understand a word this guy's saying. But all right.
Yeah, he uses a lot of like college level Yeah. Well, then like the weird words from the games, and then also college level like philosophy language. Yeah.
Like, is everything this guy talking about like a mind trip? Because like mantling and chim.
Yeah. There's a chance that some of the people writing that stuff at the time might have been on certain substances. Who knows?
Or the whole game. All the games are from an Elder Scroll. That's a thing too.
Yeah, that could be a thing.
That Bethesda just has an Elder Scroll down in their basement that they make games from.
Yeah, right, there you go. And that's why sometimes things change, is because the Elder Scrolls are constantly changing, and
because exactly.
Yeah, they're never the same thing when you look at them twice. So we've been. Go ahead.
I started listening to the Skyrim book club recently because Lotus mentioned something about that. Mm-hmm. And last time we talked on Elder Scrolls Patron chat, we were talking about the TV show or movies.
Yeah.
Based off Elder Scrolls. And some of those books are long. Some of those stories are long.
Yeah. Like
Baron Zaya.
And what was it? I can't think of the names right now. But yeah, some of them are like multi-part books. They're like little novelettes. Like there's 2 different book series on Baron Zaya herself. Like one of them's like the true story of Baron Zaya, where she's a secret mistress of Talos, of Tyra Septim. Mm-hmm. But in the other one, the biography of Baron Zaya or something, she was just good friends with the family and liked by everyone. Right. Different variations of the story with very different.
You could just make like one large show where they just make each longer book out of like a couple episodes dedicated to this book or something. That's an
interesting idea.
Like seeing everything Baron Zaya went through with all the different husbands and running away from her adopted parents. And
oh yeah, there's all sorts of stories that you can build books out of. Even some of the quest lines in the games could be their own little, multi-episode series of just events. Yeah, that's interesting. There's a lot of stuff there. Well, we've been in the recent episodes, other than the Dragon Name one, which we'll get back to soon, we've been talking about the divines, the 8 or 9 divines, and we've gotten through the first few of them. And I think it's interesting when you're kind of role-playing your character. You would say that, right?
Yeah.
You're making decisions based on who your character is and what kinds of things they would do in the world. And I especially think that's interesting when you take into consideration the world that your character lives in and the kinds of decisions they'd make. To ask the question, like, would your character worship one of the divines? And if so, which one would they worship? You have an orc character, so somebody like Malakath would make a lot of sense as somebody you would worship.
But I'm also role playing as someone who lost his memory.
Right.
So he necessarily doesn't know anything about orcish culture.
Mm-hmm. And you're pro-Empire, and you have a very diverse household. A dark elf and 2 Nord children. So here, let's just go through real quick each of the 8 or 9 divines. We can include Talos.
Wait, let me see what I can do.
Okay.
Talos, Mara, Keenerith, Julianos. Julianos. That's 4. Mm-hmm. 5 more. Did I say Keenerith?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Chat's gonna start helping you. I know it.
I can't. I don't have the chat pulled up, so you'll have to. So Julius is he's the guy with the horn. Is he that Keenerith?
The way they look.
Like they're statues.
Right. I'm trying to remember what all the statues look like.
Talos has the axe.
Julianus has the triangle.
Like the black pyramid thing.
Little pyramid looking triangle thing.
Made from ebony. If you have the.
I don't. Maybe. What do you mean made from ebony? Is there an item?
If you have the Hearthfire DLC when you're building your house, you can have your own. You can have all the 9 divines on a little shelf, so you can get their different bonuses.
I never did that.
So when you craft his, I think it's made from ebony.
Okay, yeah, I never did that, so that's interesting. Yeah.
So I know at least 4.
Okay, so there's Akatosh, right? We talked about Akatosh.
Oh,
That's the first one, right?
Akatosh.
The dragon god of time, right? He's the main one, right? RK.
He's only the big guy.
He's only the big guy, yeah. Especially when it comes to
the most important.
right, the events of some of the games. Then there's RK, so that's like birth and death and cycles of life, funerals, things like that. And Debella, who is art and beauty, also sexuality.
The multi-breasted woman.
Multi-breasted
and molted arm.
Yes, was that her?
I think that's the one you were talking about.
Yeah, I think that was her. That in some cultures she's. Maybe it was the Khajiit. Was it? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, I always read her name wrong.
Yeah,
I always read the name wrong too. I read it as Diabella instead of Debella.
Huh. Okay. I do too many of these lore shows, so everything gets all mixed up in my head. Then Julianus, logic, wisdom, magic, like the art of magic.
Yeah.
Education, things like that, history, law. Kinnereth is the heavens and winds and rain, like the sky, also travel and sailors. Mara is love, compassion, and the bounty of nature, marriage ceremonies and fertility, that kind of thing. Stendar is mercy, justice, righteousness. When you think of Stendar, I think of like a judge.
The Stentar, Vigilance, and the guys you always run to on the roads who hunt vampires.
Yeah. Yes. Yep. And then there's Zenithar, who is the god of work, commerce, and wealth. Business ventures, industry, things like that.
Yeah.
So, and then of course there's Talos, who's the mortal who became a god. So your character, what's your orc's name again?
Sever.
So
S-E-V-R.
Sever. Who would Sever worship primarily?
So
you can worship all of them, but like who would? Generally, you have like a primary worship, like the one that you kind of link up with the most.
A little background on me personally. I am a practicing Christian, so that's always been interesting for me, trying to figure something out like that.
Right, but there's no Christianity in this world. I guess Talos is similar to a Jesus type character in that it's a mortal that is also a god.
If you look at the skull up in Solstheim, they're monotheistic Nords with their Allmaker. So personally, I would probably end up practicing with them, but from my orc, from Sever's point of view, I don't know. He might just worship Meridia, the Daedric Lord.
Really?
I like her cut. I like the cut of her jib.
Okay, what about her specifically?
Just the whole light, like how she's like from what I know, from my perspective, as the only good Daedric Lord.
Right. She seems to be good. Like all of the Daedra have their own interests at heart.
Of course. But probably Talos, because of the taboo of worshiping him. That sounds...
So you would be pro-Empire, but then also pro-Talos?
Okay, all right.
How does this work?
It's not anti-Empire to worship Talos. It's anti-High Elves, anti-Thalmor to worship Talos. In the next game, when the Empire beats the Thalmor back, they'll probably bring back the worship of Talos.
Oh, so this is an interesting prediction. Okay. So you think that's the way it's going to be? Like there's going to be some sort of turn at the end of it. Like things are degrading, the Empire's divided, the High Elves, or at least the Thalmor, are taking control.
But what are the Thalmor going to do to the most powerful, most richest guy in Skyrim?
Which is your character, right?
Yeah. Like, it's gotten to the point wherever... Actually, the Thalmor have started attacking me too, but whenever I'd see them on the road, I'd just start attacking them.
Oh, yeah. I got to that point usually pretty quickly in the games where I was just like, these jerks. Even before I understood anything about the lore, I was just like, I have to kill these guys because they're such jerks.
Yeah. Hey, I didn't know anything about them before, so I just sort of would talk to them and like, what are you guys? And they're like, get away from us.
Right. They're all
You're under us. You're dirt. I'm like, all right, I don't like you.
Okay, jerk. Yeah. All
right, taste my steel sword.
Yep. I had the same reaction. And I think you're kind of supposed to. I think that's generally the idea there is that they're hard to connect with. They're hard. Yeah. They seem so high and mighty and over everybody else, and they think they're so right and everyone else is wrong. Wouldn't that be the perfect twist, though, in the story, like for the next major game for Elder Scrolls 6? Like, what if they are right?
I don't care.
I don't care because they're jerks. I mean, like, there are a lot of people who are right about things and nice about it, and then there's a lot of people who are right about things and total jerks about it. It doesn't change the fact that they're right.
I don't think the next game would force me to work with them. I don't think that. Well,
maybe they don't force you to work with them, but maybe the ending, like maybe the end of the game, your decision, if you go against what they're working on, ends up resulting in like a worse off situation.
I don't think the world of is it so.
Like, what if Tiber Septim is a false god?
So.
But so here, okay. So let's pull some. Let's pull of our own.
Proof that he's. There's no proof that he isn't, and there's no proof that he is. There's proof that any of the Aedra actually exist.
Well, Akatosh shows up in the form of a dragon when summoned by what's his face in at the end of Oblivion.
Martin
Septim. And there is true power in the gem in the medallion.
That could be mantling.
Like Martin Septim became a dragon and mantled Akatosh?
He mantled the idea of Akatosh.
Whoa.
If you follow an idea, if you believe in an idea so much, when does it become real?
You think Martin Septim mantled Akatosh?
Yeah.
Okay. So all this gets so complex. That's an interesting idea. Okay, so let's just go back to the what ifs. What if the Thalmor are right that Tiber Septim is a false god? Like to you as a person, like we're not talking characters in the game. We're talking you as a person, right? The idea of a false god to somebody who's a Christian is a very serious thing, right? That's like, you know, you don't want to worship idols. You can get distracted from the true faith. There's a lot of terrible things that happen when you worship idols. Wouldn't that, like, if that became provable, if they proved that, would you as a person, would your gut be like, oh, you're right, they're right, I hate them, but they're right? Like, that's a false god. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, so there's nothing in the games about false deities, because like the Yakutans, they don't worship the Red Guard.
Right.
They don't worship the Nine Divines. The Dark Elves. I don't think they do either.
Yeah, it depends on the era, but most of the time they worshipped Daedra or the Tribunal.
Yeah, like the Tribunal. I understand the Tribunal. I would say that they are gods.
So you think the Tribunal are legitimate gods? Yeah. Okay.
And if I was someone on Tamriel and I saw Alexia, Vivek, and the other guy, if I saw them in person, irregardless of what race I am, that would be evidence enough.
because you could come across them because they would just seem so powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they can be killed. Like Ribwan mentions, don't they die in the third era? Like they don't necessarily live forever. They're not immortal necessarily. So that doesn't so your definition of somebody that is a true god is somebody who has godlike powers?
Why not?
Okay, I'm just trying to get to like the definition of it. Okay,
and what's stopping the dragon? What's stopping the Dragonborn from being God?
Right, like that's true. Like by your definition, anybody who acquires enough power is legitimately a god in and of their own right. So somebody like the last Dragonborn, claiming all the souls of the dragons, becoming very, very powerful, could be a god. Somebody who is like Manny Marco then at some points becomes powerful enough to be godlike.
But the only god worth anything in Tamriel is definitely Mike the Liar.
Mike the Liar. What if Mike the Liar is the one true god? What if Mike the Liar?
Kill him.
Right. You can't.
Literally can't kill him.
Right. Okay. What if
goes down?
What if what if Christianity is a thing in the world of Elder Scrolls, and Mike the Liar is Jesus, and he's also like the one true infinite being, and the true infinite being sent his son into the world as Mike the Liar, who's wandering the earth to save us from sin. And in the next game, we kill him. We hang him on a cross or some other terrible form of torture, and he dies for the sins of all of Tamriel. and then an organization is formed which calls itself Mikeanity or something. I don't know. just riffing here.
The empire is based off like Rome, right?
Yeah, it's very Roman, which would make sense.
Rome killed Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, they were the ones who could crucify people, and they were in control of, Israel at the time. Like, yeah.
I mean, yeah. So Talos, wouldn't make a good comparison to Jesus because he is Roman. That's true. Genghis Fly asks, why is Christianity up in this? Because it came up earlier. He was mentioned. I've been interviewing Seachaser about this, and we've been talking about his character. But then he was also talking about his own perspectives on like which divines he would worship as he is a Christian. So I wanted to bring this back to like a personal connection and then it just went off on some side tangent about Mike the Liar being Jesus, which I don't think is the case, but it would be very, very funny. This is not about any specific religion. This is all about this and our personal connections to the lore. I do feel like Mike the Liar is an immortal being, though, that just somehow exists.
Yeah, I think, yeah. Somebody else in chat posted, like, he's the Tom Bombadil. So if you know anything about the Lord of the Rings books, like Tom Bombadil is just like this character that has no real explanation how he's so powerful.
Except that's how J.R.R. Tolkien wrote himself into the books.
So you think that that's a personification of the writer, the author?
I'm pretty sure that's mentioned that it is. It's mentioned somewhere.
Like in his interviews or something?
I don't. Or it might have just been something I read.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
Well, that could make sense because Mike the Liar is kind of a personification of the developers in the game, in that he breaks the fourth wall. He talks about analogies and things from like a game designer standpoint or a player standpoint. So maybe you got something there. I don't know. This is an interesting conversation. This is kind of going some interesting places. Tell you what, we need to take a quick break because I have to thank all of our patrons. But we'll be back after that.
But especially me, because I'm one of your level 5. Yeah,
and especially you, because you're the one level 5 patron who also is here for the episode today. So so you got that like doubling up for you this week. All right, here, let's move on to the next part. Here we go.
The skies are marked with numberless sparks, each a fire, and every one a sign.
Oh, he's walking outside.
I just have to get my charging cord from my truck.
Okay. This is an adventure. This stream is an adventure. Thank you for joining us on the show today. This is me and the Seachaser show while he walks around outside and we hear wind sounds, which is great.
Yeah, it's a bit windy today.
It's a bit windy.
And I'm wearing shorts, so I'm feeling a bit cold.
Yeah, man. It's nice and cool where you are. It's not where I am.
But I'm used to the cold.
That's good. But anyway, this is the middle of the show. This is where I get to thank our patrons. Thank you to all of our patrons. We have 48 of you right now. And that is amazing. Thank you to everybody who helps support the show. I very, very, very much appreciate it. This is what I do full time now, are these shows, and your support helps me to keep doing them. So if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be here. And especially thank you to our tier 5 and tier 6 patrons. We have Jared B, who is our Akatosh or Lorcan. I think he's Akatosh from what I understand. He couldn't make the show today, but thank you. He also goes by Pie Man on the Discord. He also changes his name up because he does some other funny things on there too. You'll see him around. And then there's Noodle Al Dente and Seachaser. Seachaser, thank you. Yeah, man, you guys are awesome.
It's only like $50 a month, so it's not too bad.
It's not too bad, and it really does help.
When I first started listening to you and you would talk about patrons, and I started listening to you in like February of 2020, I was like, I don't know how much patrons cost, and I was like, I don't want to spend a lot of money on it.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh.
Yeah, it's not that much. A lot of people who have said that they've signed up for the tier 4, the $25 a month tier to join us on the show every month. I've also gotten a lot of comments like, oh my God, that's so cheap. Why don't you charge more for that? And I'm like, because it's not about like, taking everybody's money as much as I can. It's about having a community of people and being able to have awesome conversations with people like Seachaser. And it's about the long-term goal of it. I always want to be giving more than I'm actually asking for. And if, obviously the show's for free. So if anybody is willing to spend a little bit of money on it, then that's a huge compliment. I mean, that just means a ton. So thank you to everyone from our tier 1 to our tier 6 patrons. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for being here. Can you use PayPal to buy that? I believe so. Go to patreon.com/
That's how I'm paying for it, PayPal.
There you go. Yeah, patreon.com/Elder Scrolls Lorecast. You can look at all the different tiers. Everything from tier 1, you get episodes a day early. You get your own RSS feed, so you don't have any of the advertisements. You also get longer versions of the episodes, so you'll hear some of like the pre-chat or the post-chat if we, start a little bit early or if we go a little bit long after the official ending. Some of that stuff is actually the best stuff because we're not really doing the show. We're just talking about whatever, and it gets really silly. And then, of course, there's other things you can get for other tiers, including joining the show. You get discounts for some of the shirts and merch and stuff. That's like a permanent discount. So if ever you decide to buy a shirt, then you're going to pay less. But check all the different stuff. There's a whole bunch of stuff on there. So go check it out. And thank you again to everyone who helps support the show. I really appreciate it.
Hey there. My name's Jameson, or Big Cat.
And I am Brenna, or Mother Goose.
And together, we are the hosts of the DL, Weekly Gaming News.
Each week, we bring you the top stories from last week, as well as something you might have missed.
Our goal is to start a conversation about what's going on in the world of gaming.
And every week, we have a special guest join us in the chat room, where we discuss a different gaming-related topic and learn more about our guests in the 60-second download.
And if that isn't enough, we also have Slim Jims.
So come and hang out with us every week and join in on the conversation.
Good luck and have fun, everybody.
And remember, keep your goose loose.
Yes, you're entirely brilliant. Conquering madness and all that. Blah, 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 blah.
So what was that, Seachaser?
Where did you get that old man voice from?
That old man voice? That one right there?
Yeah.
That's Sheo Gorath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's actually a voice line from one of the games.
So yeah, it's from. So I have friends who have played the other games, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought one of them mentioned that end of Morrowind, maybe. You basically become Sheogorath or something.
Oh, the End of Oblivion's expansion.
End of Oblivion.
Yeah, there's an expansion where you go to the Shivering Isles. I believe it's called the Shivering Isles. And that's where you learn about the fact that Sheogorath was previously Jigalag. and he was cursed by the other Daedra. And Jiggalad was originally the Daedra of order, and he was cursed to become like the Daedra of chaos. And once every era of the world, at the end of that era, Jiggalad returns, and you as the player character end up basically taking on the role of Sheogorath in that. You become Sheogorath, which is really interesting because it makes you wonder, like, is that the previous player character that you run into in Skyrim?
Yeah.
Like, how does that actually work? Or is that canon? Is that a canon ending, or did that not actually happen that way? Like, how does that work out?
So there's a guy you meet in a dark elf you meet in Solstheim, and he's wearing full armor, and it's the armor with like the weird little goggle eyes. Yeah, you can find him over there. But I was looking online because I wanted to see what he looks like underneath all of that armor. If you give him like stronger armor, he won't take the old stuff off because it was apparently specially forged by someone. But apparently, if you get the light touch pickpocketing, where you can take the armor off people, if you take the armor off him, he looks like the art character from Morrowind, if you know what I mean. So it's this. If you look at the Skyrim cover, it's got that Dragonborn guy with the curls horned helmet,
right?
And so like the guy that they made for Morrowind,
really
looks a lot like this guy you find in Solstheim.
Okay, do you know what his name is?
Aern.
Aern.
I think that's how you spell it. Aern.
Mm-hmm.
In Sero, maybe. Sero. Like first name, last name, and Sero. I don't know.
Right.
You can look him. Let's see if I can look him up.
Yeah.
Can you still hear me?
I can still hear you. That doesn't come up as anything. I don't know. You'll have to let me know when you figure out who that is. We can kind of dig into that. If it looks like a character from like the character models from Morrowind are so low poly. They're so low poly, and there isn't a character.
Teldryn Sero.
How do you spell that?
Teldryn.
Okay, there it is. I see Teldryn Sero. All right, let's go to the UESP article about him. Yeah, I see here the funny goggles and stuff. His spell sword is a mercenary found in the Retching Netch. He can be hired as a follower for 500 gold. He wears a full set of light chitin armor, including the cuirass, boots, bracers, and helmet. He carries an elven sword and an elven dagger. He knows a bunch of spells, blah, 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 blah. As a follower, related quests. He will only equip headwear given to him that does not expose his face and has higher armor rating than his default chitin helmet. He's one of the 2 hirelings that cannot be married. Bugs. There's bugs. I don't see anything on the UESP article about him, but that's interesting. But he's a dark elf.
Yes.
Yeah.
Teldryn Sero face. Here we go. Okay. Teldryn Sero face.
Uh-huh.
And there was an article I was reading about it.
Interesting.
Probably on Reddit or something.
So you think that he is a character that existed in Morrowind? Like he is the Nerevarine, potentially?
Yes, or that's what someone I read on this article I was reading about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Interesting. We'll have to dig into that. I mean, it sounds like it's just a coincidence that he just looks like a dark elf that also looks like somebody from Morrowind. Like that's
he's got this face paint.
Yeah, the paste that goes around here. Yeah.
Down the side, which is what they had in Morrowind. See if I can find a picture of.
Yeah, there's a regular search for Teldryn Sero Nerevarine. What happened to the Nerevarine fandom article? Anyone know what happened to the Nerevarine? Believe he's still alive. This is a Sero. To be honest, I suspect that Teldrin Sarah might be Nervarine, considering how talented he is in combat. The fact that you can't get his helmet off, and how he mentions he's met Saint Jube.
Yeah, there's that whole article I was reading about was that talking about how this guy might be the
Nervarine, right?
Nervarine.
Yeah, Saint Jube the Eradicator was a saint of both the Tribunal Temple and the New Temple. He was named a saint after cleansing Vardenfell of the Cliff Racer menace. He was later killed in the city of Kvatch by Dromora during the Oblivion Crisis, and his soul was sent to the Soul Cairn. Huh. Interesting. Oh, Jube is the guy you meet at the beginning of Morrowind on the ship.
I'll take your word for it.
And he's a dark elf also. And he's got a scar on his right eye. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Weird stuff.
And I mean, elves live a long time, so
yeah.
Nothing to say that you Nerevrin wouldn't be alive.
Yeah, that's true. It could be a thing.
Baron Zaya might still be alive for all we know. And she was alive when Talos was alive.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it seems also coincidental that like they would be in and around the locations that you're in and around on those other games, but you know, that's always possible.
Morrowind is right there by Morrowind was right there by Skyrim.
Yeah, Solstheim is kind of right there between the two of them, so it could be the case.
And Teldrin was talking about how he was working a job for a Nord, and then it went south, and he ended up getting stuck on Solstheim.
Yeah, I wonder if this is one of those things that doesn't have a right answer. It's just got enough in it to make people wonder if it's a thing. Exactly. You know, like the developers are just like, I'm just gonna stick this in here and make some little references, and maybe it is and maybe it isn't, and you'll never know.
And Spell Sword is kind of how I was playing Sever the Orc. So with magic in left hand and a single-handed sword in the other hand.
I gotcha.
So mostly I would mostly use flame. The flames magic.
Yeah, I had a hard time using magic characters in Skyrim and getting too far with them. I always felt like the second level of combat spells were harder to hit things with, because because like when you're just casting like fire and it's just like a flame coming out of your hands, it hits anything in front of you. But when you're casting a little fireball, it's easy to miss. It does a lot more damage when it hits, but it takes a lot more magicka, and it's also easier to miss. So it was always hard to get to the point where you could actually use that enough to continue leveling up and get up to a higher level.
Yeah, so for me, I didn't like two-handed weapons because they were too slow. But single-handed weapons were a little bit too weak. So take the flames in the left hand, and they're out of range for the sword, but in range for the fire. Get their damage down a little bit till you get close enough to them, and finish them off with the sword.
Yeah, I also noticed that with the flames, you get an initial burst damage. So it's actually, you do higher DPS if you don't just hold down the button. If you flame, rather than just holding down.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because the game doesn't tell you that, but you just kind of notice it. So yeah, interesting stuff. Well, you've said you aren't jumping into ESO. There's an article about the companion system, which I think is interesting from the perspective of somebody who doesn't play ESO, and I'm guessing you don't play MMOs in general. Is that right?
Not really.
Right. So adding companions into ESO, does that make it more appealing to you?
Well, I'm still going to play it eventually, irregardless.
Right. But is it something you find that you liked about, say, Skyrim that you're glad they're going to have, or does it not matter?
Well, normally in Skyrim, I usually have a companion follow me around. But there's a lot of times where they do things I don't want them to do.
Right. And then you accidentally kill them, and then you have to go back, or
going up to talk to Parthenax up on the mountain there. I had Janessa following me, I think. And then she starts attacking him because he's that dragon. And I'm like, no, we're trying to talk to this one.
Right.
I'm trying to have a conversation with him, so I have to tell her to go home so I can do the quest.
Right.
And that's come up more than once.
Well, in ESO, the companions will follow you around, and you can equip them. You can give them commands and things. But with the way that engine works, I doubt that they're ever going to attack anything that you don't tell them to or initiate combat with first, or get close enough and already is aggro to you, would be my guess.
So I also know that in Skyrim, a lot of the companions who follow you will report you to the authorities if you do a crime in front of them.
Because they don't like when you do crimes. Because of their personality types.
They're technically lawful good.
Uh-huh.
So they'll if you break into a house and start stealing things, and they see you do that, they'll report you. But then there are some like Janessa, the Dark Elf, who's like, yeah, I'm down for crimes. Let's do this.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm with you. I didn't when I played almost every time I've played through Skyrim, I've been very light on the companion side of it. Most of the time because I would accidentally get them murdered at some point. And then I'd have to deal with that.
In that last quest I was talking about in Solstheim, you get another black book where you go into that weird oily tentacle place.
Yeah. Yes. Herman Mora's realm, right?
I'm not fond of that place, but in this book, you can choose three different powers or whatever, and there's one where you don't do harm to companions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right.
You've got to go. You got to go do this quest in Solstheim so you don't hurt your friends.
Yeah, I remember that now.
There was the one time I accidentally killed Lydia.
Yeah.
When I first started playing, I was like,
oh yeah,
well, I'm gonna have to go back to a different save because I don't want her dead.
Yeah, there were times in the game where I was charging through, I was at the point where I was pretty powerful, and I'd be charging through a dungeon, climbing upstairs and killing stuff and fighting things and going from one room to the next and just killing everybody. And I would end up I don't know, 3 or 4 rooms in, and then look around and be like, where's Lydia or whatever companion I had, and just where'd they go? And I'd have to backtrack, and I'd find that they slid down the entire stairwell of the front of the place because they died at the front because I accidentally hit them with I don't know, a fireball or something. Yeah. And then I'm like, oh crap, I gotta go back 15 minutes on my save or half an hour or however long it's been that I've been just running around killing stuff. That was always a bummer.
So there was one time I was attacking a fortress with the Empire against Stormcloaks, and I had Lydia with me, and I did the Orcish Rage while attacking, and I see her body lying there.
Mm-hmm. Uh-oh. You look like he froze. He's very slowly moving. No. I think you might be having internet issues.
I gotta go redo this one. I mean, I'm sitting still right now, so.
There you go. Now it's like it was in slow motion for a second.
Too, so.
Yeah, that's so weird. It's it got in slow motion. Yeah, that stuff happens. That's true.
In the Dark Brotherhood quest, when you get Shadowmere, that horse, right?
Yeah.
That weird horse that has no explanation.
Yeah. Yeah.
The other deity. Mysterious deity.
Yeah, it's super horse.
I know that he shows up in other games too, and he comes out of a thing of black goop.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know where. I also know that he's not supposed to die.
Yeah, you can't kill him.
Except I don't know where my Shadowmere is.
I think that happened to me once, and I went a very long time, and then all of a sudden he just showed back up at some point.
Because he's been gone almost since I finished the Dark Brotherhood quest.
Yeah. I don't know if it's a glitch in the game or somehow it's I don't know, but I do feel like that happened to me once. And again, I'm trying to remember back 9 or 10 years on some of the stuff that I did back way when I was originally playing through the game. And I put 300 or 400 hours in the game. So I spent a lot of time in it. It's just been a long time also. But I do feel like that happened. And then he showed back up. It was either Shadowmere or it was a companion. Somebody disappeared and I couldn't get them to show back up. And it didn't matter if I fast traveled. It didn't matter if I saved and reloaded. Nothing. They were gone. And then I think it must have been like another 15 hours in the game or something. And then all of a sudden, for no reason, they just like showed back up. And I was like, hey, you came back. That's amazing. Yeah, it's crazy.
But with the amount of horses I go through, I kind of need an immortal horse.
Right. Yeah. Like Shadowmare's a great addition once you get them.
They climb over mountains easier than you do.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Every time I'm playing anything on any other game and you can't climb over a mountain, I will. And I'll say this on stream. I'll be like, wow, where's my Skyrim horse when I need it? Because like the Skyrim horses could go up like angles that are just impossible.
But they also look from you like straight on. So for some reason, Skyrim horses are predators. They don't look at you like normal horses do.
Like from the side,
they look at you straight on.
Right, like their eyes should be like at the sides, but instead they're like...
They look at you.
Like with two eyes. That's a good point. That's really funny.
And then they take damage for you when you jump off cliffs, and they're just useful.
Yeah, they're like the perfect companions.
That's how I've killed most of my horses, are jumping off cliffs.
Well, there you go. Well, I feel bad for your horses, but... I mean, they're kind of the Yoshi of Skyrim.
They're only 1,000 gold.
Right.
It's like nothing.
Right.
It's like nothing.
That's like nothing. That's
to the
true.
richest man in Skyrim.
Right, especially when you're spending 40,000 on the guy who's just stealing your money for a dragon priest. We've made it full circle back to that original story you told about losing all your money to the dragon priest guy. Man, this
whatever his name is.
In chat, Bribone writes,
or something.
I love modding Skyrim, and there is a companion mod to have multiple companions at once, and it adds a few hundred companion options. Yeah, man, some of the mods have been amazing. My wife, when she plays Skyrim, she will purposely do quests that get you somebody who follows you around, and then she purposely doesn't finish them so that they keep following her around. So she'll have a train of like 3 or 4 or 5 companions legitimately
like
without without modding the game. So every time she finds a quest where she gets a companion, she doesn't finish the quest line, which like there's
so good.
There's part of me that's just like OCD about that. I feel bad. Like these people are just following me around the world doing all these other things. And I'm like, oh, we'll get to your stuff eventually. Just keep following me. But it totally works. It totally works.
Your wife is a smart woman.
She's a very smart woman. Yes. And she's an amazing person. Very smart. And yeah, so whenever I would watch her play, I was like, what do you do with like 4 people following you around? And she's like, oh, I just purposely don't turn in the quests.
I know there is.
And she just stands back and lets them murder everything because she's got like an army with her.
Yeah, and they won't die. So.
And they don't die. Like she walks into a room and she's like, oh no. And then she backs up and then everybody fights everything for her. And then she's like, thanks. And then she walks through the rest of the room.
So it's also annoying that when a companion stops in front of the door and you're trying to get around them, or like a narrow cavern and you can't get around them.
Yeah.
But if you get close enough and just look at them, they'll be like, oh, and back up.
Right. Yeah.
Which for some reason, more often than not, I have female companions.
And you're just the ladies man. You're just your orc ladies man. That's all it is. It's your facial hair.
And the Dragonborn is shorter than everyone else. Dragonborn is the shortest person in Skyrim. So when they're in my way, the
camera's like low.
It's just kind of just a little.
Yeah.
Just a kind of.
Have you tried?
Yeah, kind of low.
Yeah, you end up looking at their chest. Yeah. Have you played Skyrim VR?
Yeah.
So in Skyrim VR
on the Switch.
Okay, so if you get a chance to play Skyrim VR sometime, like if you get it on some platform that you have or a friend has it, play it. You know, in any VR game, you can change your height. Like, because it has to adjust to the player, right? You have to tell it where the floor is. So you'll default to being like a little bit shorter than everyone else. At least in my version game, you default to being a little bit shorter. So you're always looking up at them a little bit. Like you feel like everyone's looking down at you. And so you can adjust it so you're like about on eye level with everyone. But it also makes everything else in the game smaller. It's like you become bigger, so the rest of the game becomes smaller. But what's the weirdest thing about playing Skyrim in Skyrim VR is items in the world are not necessarily the size that you would expect them to be, because when it's on a flat screen in front of you, you can't tell. But when you're actually surrounded by the world and you're in the world, it's super weird. So for example, the first thing you need to do when you play this game is find a companion and get them to walk around with you, or just find somebody else in the world and pick up an apple and hold it up to their head. Apples in Skyrim are bigger than heads. It's amazing. They're like the biggest apples. They're like little pumpkin sized apples. They're huge. Like and things in the world just don't, like, in your head looking at things on a screen. Like, this is another one, and I've mentioned this before. You know, when you're in a crypt and you have to move the different images and they turn, like there's like the snake one and the bird and like the dolphin looking one, and you turn it. Those mechanisms that turn in my mind in the game should be about this big.
Yeah.
Right? No, they're the size of a person. These things are huge. They're gigantic. But when you're looking at a flat screen, they don't appear that big, like, because you're in, I don't know, it's a flat screen and just doesn't register that they're as big as they are. So the world is very different, and yet some of the things in it are significantly different in size than you would expect them to be, which is kind of fun.
So, have you seen what happens when you put the steel plate armor on a female companion?
I don't know. What happens? I mean, I've probably done it, but I don't know if I noticed. Does it mess with their proportions?
Let's just say it's very skin tight on the females.
Skyrim steel plate armor on female. What is this? I mean, it shapes around their boobs, like they get boob armor. Yes. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Which doesn't really happen in any of the much of the other armors.
Oh, really? For some reason, that armor gives you boob armor. Yeah, that's the big running joke about fantasy games and stuff, is that, like, women have boob armor, which wouldn't make any sense in the real world because it would direct blades into the middle of their chest rather than routing it around your body.
Well, there's boob armor does exist in history, though. It is a thing.
Yeah, but most of the time it wasn't. Like, that's not what was used by women. Even, yeah.
But then if you go look up, like, the blades armor on a female, it's just, you can't see my hands. I'm making hand gestures.
It's just
you can't.
It's just round.
It's not
right.
It looks like normal armor almost.
Right. Because there's no reason that the outside of the armor needs to be shaped for the inside, like the inside of the armor. Like, the outside of the armor should be cylindrical so that any blade hitting it gets routed around your body. Right. That's what it's for. So
the steel plate and ebony armor both do that.
Yeah, that's a design thing. Yep. The ebony does it too. You're right.
I feel like that's not necessarily needed, but
yeah, it's one of those, like, fantasy tropey things. But yeah, it is what it is.
But back to talking about the Empire and companions. There's a quest you can do in Windhelm. Is that the one with the Palace of the Kings? The one where Ulfric Stormcloak was from.
Oh God, you're asking me lore questions during a lore episode. Windhelm. I confuse Windhelm and Whiterun and Winterhold because they all have the W at the beginning, and my brain truncates words. So Windhelm is the city of kings. Yes, northeast Skyrim. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, I've spent so much time in Whiterun. I know which one Whiterun is, but
they're all two syllables and they all start with a W. So in my head, they all get smushed together.
The Windhelm is the one that has that port in the Palace of the Kings or whatever. Mm-hmm. But there's a quest you can do for the East Empire Company where you help them get their shipment or something.
Right. Yes.
And you can get this female Empire officer as a companion, which I don't understand how that works with the lore, because once she becomes a follower, you can take her from that storehouse and set her up as a steward in your house, and you can take away all her Empire armor and put her into whatever armor you want.
So it's like she abandons her post.
So basically she loses her job to come work for you.
Yeah. She betrays the Empire. And if she's a soldier, she just, like, she just ditches them and just leaves. Like that's probably a big no-no.
I mean, but technically I'm a legate, Imperial legate, so I'm important.
Maybe she just starts reporting to you. Maybe that's how it works. That could be it.
I'm the superior officer.
Well, there you go.
Makes sense.
Hey,
She just watches over my half-completed house. Yeah,
Yep.
that's fine.
Yep. I mean, there are real-world situations where people of important position have used their authority to make people do things for them, personal things, like taking care of their own property and stuff. That happens. So maybe you're just corrupt. Maybe you're just a corrupt official.
I mean, technically, I believe my character should be the Emperor.
Yeah. Okay.
As the Dragonborn, I have a claim to the Empire.
You do have the dragon blood running through your veins, so there is that.
So
Yeah.
I believe I should be the Emperor.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll vote for you, but then again, you don't vote for emperors. So
I killed the last one too, and technically that's normally how emperors take over. Assassination.
all right. Well, you should walk around and just treat everybody like they're your servants and see how that works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I deserve the power.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a wonderful place to end our episode, talking about you being the emperor.
The god.
Yeah. You've mantled the god. You are the Dragonborn. You've met the Nerevarine.
I can summon fighters from
Sovereign Guard, right? You can summon fighters from Sovereign Guard. You have all of these abilities. I mean, who is going to be able to stand up to you when you say, "Listen, I'm now the Emperor," and they're like, "No, you're not." Like you can just foos them off a mountain.
I've been blessed by the Nightingale's Daedric Prince lady, whatever her name is.
Wait, Prince lady?
I'm a Nightingale. I am the leader of the Dark Brotherhood. I lead the Thieves Guild.
Maybe
I am an Imperial officer.
Maybe you just need to finish the Mages Guild stuff. Maybe that's the one requirement you have left.
And then I'll be.
That's it.
Emperor.
That's it. Birch Game says, has anyone tried the Become the High King mod in Skyrim? Maybe you should try that. Maybe you should try some mods. Maybe there's a mod that just makes you Emperor.
I play on the Switch.
Oh, you play on the Switch. Yeah.
I've mentioned that before.
Right. Oh, yeah, you can't mod it.
Switch, so I can't really mod it.
Oh, no.
And my MacBook Air won't be able to play anything else really well on it.
Yeah. Oh, that's a bummer. Well, tell you what, I think it's time to wrap up the show. This has been a super fun conversation. Seachaser, thanks again for helping to support the show. This has been awesome. I love
Daedric Lord Seachaser.
Daedric Lord Seachaser. I love your perspective on the game and the things that you've done and all that stuff. Sorry, Birch Games. Yeah, the episode's done, but you guys will be able to get this episode. It's available. It'll be available on YouTube very soon. I'll try and get it up tomorrow for everybody. Usually it takes it's like the day after. It's like 2 days after, since it's like tonight and then next day and then the next morning that the episodes go live. But this one's late this week because we were trying to work it out for our patrons to join us. But it just became the Robots and Seachaser show, which was been super fun. Yes. So thanks for joining me, Seachaser. Is there anything you want to share? Any ways people can get a hold of you, or anything you're working on that you want to talk about?
If you choose to support me in my rightful claim to the Empire, you can follow me on Instagram at seachaser.ak, where I don't post very often.
Okay.
And I'm also on TikTok at that same username.
Everybody should send Seachaser for the Emperor memes.
If you're in the car, also
oh no, you're getting all choppy. I'm losing you.
Yeah.
Oh, you're back.
I think
or you were.
Once you get approved. Oh no.
Yeah, it's getting all choppy.
So
if you're interested in chatting with Seachaser, make sure you jump onto our Discord and check out the Robots Radio Discord. And you're welcome, Seachaser, to share your stuff on there. The voice is getting a little choppy with the internet connection. Oh, it was there. Yeah. Now it's being weird again. Oh, well, at least we got through everything up until this point fairly well before things got too weird. But thanks for joining us. I will be back on Thursday night with Rich from Zos, which is going to be awesome. Awesome stuff.
How's your bandwidth going to be this time?
My bandwidth should be good. Rich Lambert is coming. I'm downstairs in my office now, so I'm actually wired in, so everything should be working better now.
So I should be able to stream you this time?
Yeah, I hope so. Like, everything should be fine. So shouldn't be any issues. And so Rich Lambert will be here. Lotus Vadum and I have a bunch of questions for him about the new content for ESO that's coming out in just a month. And we're going to have a wonderful conversation. So make sure you tune in for that. It will be available as a regular episode up everywhere. But if you want to check it out live, then be here on Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, twitch.tv/Robots Radio. And if you miss it and you still want to get it a little bit early, then that goes out to all our patrons the next day. And then, of course, it goes out to everybody on Saturday morning. So you can get it there. But that's what we got going on. So I'll be back then. And until then, everybody take it easy. Stay safe. Seachaser, thank you for joining me. This has been super fun. Have a good rest of your week, and hopefully I'll see you on Twitch and everything will be working well for you on your bandwidth side of it. All right. We'll talk to everybody later. Have a good night, everyone. See ya.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Elder Scrolls Lorecast. If you have something you'd like to contribute to the show, please reach out to us at elderscrollslorecast@gmail.com or on Twitter @ESO Lorecast. I really appreciate you listening, and I'd love to hear from you soon.
You've been listening to a Robots Radio podcast. Smart shows for interesting people. Check out all the shows at robotsradio.net.
Hey, I'm Tom.
And I'm Stuart.
And we're from the Dungeons & Dragons Lorecast.
We talk about all things connected to D&D lore.
And we're on the Robots Radio Network. So if you're into Dungeons & Dragons or you're into lore, then come check us out. You can find us on any podcatcher, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, wherever you get podcasts.
Roll more dice.
That's the Dungeons & Dragons Lorecast.
Since the dawn of time, there have been storytellers who teach through their stories. These myths give rise to fundamental truths, and these truths shape our collective experience. Yet these myths are not something of the past, and today they engage us more fully in the story itself. Video games allow us to live the lives of our favorite myths. My name is Blue Crew 86, host of Focus Fire Chat, and I want to invite you to explore our modern-day myths with us. Join with us as we explore the stories, the mythologies of the Destiny franchise, as well as other games. Let's explore together.
Hello, gentle listener. Every Friday, be sure to tune in.
What the hell are you doing, Ampersand?
Hi, Charlie. I'm sorry I broke in.
And I thought I was the only one that talked to myself.
Well, I'm letting everyone know about the Fumbling Four and the Almighty Crit.
Woohoo! It's a 5e live play podcast. Join us every week. Where do we find it, you old crusty coot? Anywhere you can get all your podcasts.
Woohoo! You find it every Friday, you stupid cat!